What's up, Joe?
Oh,
Started without you.
thank you. Thank you very much.
When's the spring game? Like
Oh,
another
it's
week?
13th, two
Two weeks?
Saturdays. Yeah, two Saturdays.
you gotta be kidding me. Ouch. All right. Yeah, how's everybody doing?
Yeah,
Welcome
man.
Good.
in.
Happy Easter.
All right. Yeah.
Yes,
Easter's
listen.
for your Keister.
Yeah.
Okay, good talk.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, we're just catching up. We're just kind of catching up about this weekend what was going on all over Columbus this
Oh,
weekend.
it's a nut job. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good weekend to be a recruit in Columbus, that's for sure. Um, so much shit for recruits committing in 48 hours. That's legit. I'll take that. Did lose one last week,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I'd like to discuss a little bit of that because I mean, we got to hear
go
some.
right ahead. Go
Okay,
right
you want to
ahead.
start it now? Well, I've
Go
just,
right ahead.
we've been mentioning, and just hearing pretty much I've been listening to the 24/7 podcasts, not just the Ohio State people, just the regular, CBS sports people, 24/7 people, just all kinds of online, a lot of different recruiting angles and just, different people, not just on the Ohio
Okay.
State beat, but they're
Yeah.
talking about like Ohio State's, we're in the Heartline's looking at, like four more guys that are in the top 20. Where was Boggs sitting prior? Where was he sitting in that pecking order? And what were the motives behind the decommit? Was it because he's pretty much now we're pretty much shut off. I mean, it's pretty much like we're out of the picture now. So was it a thing of Ohio State saying, "Hey, we think we're going to get some people better," or was it him kind of wanting to see if he can get more money? I mean, I was just
Well,
I'm always interested to find out what's the motive behind the action. How did
I
that
don't
start? How did
know.
that come
I
about? He's
can't
been
tell
he's
you.
been committed a long. I know. I'm saying. I just wish and we're never really gonna know full stories, but he's been committed a long time. He was a
Mhm.
long time verbal. So
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just
but
interested to find out why what who how did
the old
this how,
Florida,
how did
the
this come
old
up?
Florida, the old Florida wide receiver in the era of NIL. Um, I'm kind of buying into your guys' theory that you're not committed till signing day. Like none of these guys,
Yeah.
even when they say they're committed,
They're
well,
just in the
that's
league.
loose. That's loose.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, even before NIL, I mean, Urban Meyer's motto with Florida kids was, "You're just in the lead." You know, that was what, decade ago at least.
I,
So,
it's just they just been that way. Yeah.
yeah, that's the way it always is. Not going to change soon, especially with some, high profile guys like Jeremiah Smith. They're going to get 5K just to visit your fucking campus. I mean,
Right.
why would you do that as many times as possible?
And
Done.
that's right. That's and if you told a coaching staff, hey, you still got my commitment, but I'm gonna go get some of these checks, coach. If
Mhm.
having that understanding, I would imagine a coach would they can't really give you a hard time about it, but they say, well, do your thing, we keep it in contact with them and stuff like that. But you always run the risk of you let that let that person go out enough times by themselves, they might find somebody better. They might. So I don't know. I mean, but yeah, you can't tell the kid no, 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 no. If we're not going to pay you, we'll pay you this 30 grand. Don't go on those 6 visits. You know what I mean? That's what it has to be. Because there's like your kid's gonna pass up that money, like you're saying, Joe. He's getting 5, 10 grand maybe to just come to a school for a weekend. If you're not paying it, you
But
can't tell that
yeah,
kid not to take it.
so that Boggs kid specifically, he actually had lined up a bunch of visits coming up. Who knows if he was getting paid or not for them? I
Yeah,
don't care. But
yeah,
he had lined up a bunch of visits at multiple schools. And at that time, I mean, maybe Hardline took a hard line, hard line with
hard,
him.
hard. Yeah,
And it's like, okay, you can go visit all these schools, but we would like to not keep your, I mean, maybe the kid actually jumped in. This happens a lot. You guys know this. A kid grabs a spot at a school. But this happened, the very first commit in his 2025 class was like, what, 2 years ago? Deontay Gilbert, whatever his name was, out of Atlanta. He fucking,
Yeah.
he decommitted like 6, 8, 10 months ago. I don't know. But
Yeah.
they just want to lock in a spot
And use it as
until they
leverage,
find something
right?
better. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Or
So
use it
maybe
as,
this
or use it
was,
to get the rankings up. Yeah. Let me commit to Ohio
yeah,
State, get my numbers up, and then
yeah.
I'll get bigger hype from the other schools. I can ask for more money. Yeah, I got you. Like it's the whole game. It's it's dirty as fuck, man. I can't
Uh-oh.
imagine being like player personnel dealing with this stuff, like dealing with all because you get kids from all all over the gambit, like the whole gambit. Like the kids, like you're saying, that are just they're playing the system as much as the system's playing them. You got the kids like that Haddad kid that looks like he's just gonna put something out and says I'm committed here, and he's pretty pretty low key. Um, he gets some of those women in years past, like they're not even on social media almost.
Mm.
But then you get like every angle, where kids like, yeah, I've been verbal to 3 different schools, and I'm gonna put out my top 12, uh, and then
Exactly.
take it 6 more months to the signing day. So
Yeah.
I can't imagine dealing with and every kid in every situation in between all those extremes. Man, that's why they're getting paid the money.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
crazy,
So,
crazy.
but I would say, I mean, this was a monster recruiting weekend, and
True.
I think we got more coming, honestly. We got 4 in 2 days. I think we got more coming in. And the most important one is we are in very good position with the tackle out of Charlotte, North Carolina, David
Oh,
Sanders
really?
Jr.,
You you
5-star,
think
yeah.
do you think that's moved into really good position?
Yeah, where so like his top schools right now were Georgia and Clemson because he's from
Yeah,
North Carolina, obviously.
right.
And the Buckeyes have made some serious headway. And I'm not saying they're going to win this necessarily yet, but the distance, because all of his top schools are Southern schools, right? But
Yep.
the Buckeyes, the distance is no longer an issue. So
It's an hour
that
10
seems to
flight.
get
It's an
better.
hour 10 flight, It's not that bad.
Right, a quick up and down, you might say. He's a big Paris Johnson Jr. fan, and his mom Monica was on campus this weekend. They're the ones that actually got him on campus back in 2022. So they have a relationship established there. They probably trust Monica and the Johnson family. So I think this is that's one facet of making them comfortable with Columbus and coming to Ohio State. I'm not saying
Sure.
that's the end all be all, but having those relationships are huge, man. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't it seemed like Ohio State was going to be it kind of got was at the beginning was a lot of the recruiting services down here weren't really paying attention. Like, oh, Ohio State, of course, Ohio State gets their token. They're in a top school, top 6 or whatever. But then it just kind of has been like over the past 3 or 4 weeks, what you hear from these guys that are inside, the beats talking, it's been building almost every week by week.
Yeah.
Saying there's some real interest there, talking about some relationship stuff like you're saying, Joe. That he's the number 1 tackle in the country. That's blue
Yeah.
chip of blue chip. So, yeah, to take him right out of South Carolina or North Carolina, where Clemson,
North Carolina.
Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, I think were the other 4, the main 4.
Yeah.
That's everybody there is driving distance.
Oh, by the way, his teammate was Jaden Davis, quarterback at the Cheaters.
Yeah, and they're nowhere they're nowhere close to getting the interest.
They're not. No, they're not even registering.
Jaden Davis was a one-time Buckeye lean. early in the process.
No.
And then that soured quickly.
They watched him play football.
They watched him play. They watched him. They saw him not grow.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna be 6 foot forever? Oh,
No.
we had other plans.
Right. Henry, what's going on up there?
Oh, not too much. Just got back from Ohio a couple hours ago. Down there visiting the fam, Easter celebration. We're all good in the hood.
Good. All right. Well, folks, as always, we appreciate you popping in. I apologize. I had the show on unlisted instead of public because it doesn't matter. Technical settings in YouTube. Let's call it that. Let's blame YouTube. Anyways, appreciate everybody coming in. Hit us with your questions and comments. We will get to all of them tonight. I promise. We're talking about a defensive 2D. We're going to do our quick 3-round draft also of the defense. We did our offense weeks ago. Seems like years ago almost. And we can talk about the scrimmage from Saturday if we want. I sent Jeff and Shawn a ton of videos. I'm sure they didn't watch them all. Most of it was number 4 making catches over top of DBs. Anyway.
Good gosh.
Yeah, all American DBs, future NFL pros. Yes, all those guys.
I mean, he's going to mess around and get himself that starting spot.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. Ryan Day had to keep himself together after the scrimmage when he was talking to the media. You see that?
What?
He's like, I don't want to go too far ahead, but he's like, this guy's going to play a lot of football.
Yeah. He's like, I don't want. He's like, I got to watch what I say here.
Right.
But the guys that he's competing with for those playing time reps are saying, "This dude's for real. He's got to play. This dude's got to see the field."
Quickly circling back,
that's his direct competition.
Right. Quickly circling back to the recruiting aspect, all the South Florida Express guys are on campus as well. I'm talking the staff, Jamie French, the 5-star out of Jacksonville. My guy, I call him Vernie 3 Sticks, Vernell Brown III out of Orlando. They were on campus.
DB3.
So probably is a nice little showing for Jeremiah, or maybe it scares some recruits away. Who knows? But I think the SFE guys are fine with competition, right? They probably had to sit behind Jeremiah for the last 2-3 years.
Yeah. I mean, it seems on that team, like that program that guy's got humming, they're just like that. It's just they're starting the 3 receivers that they play a lot are the 3 of the top 10 in the country almost every year.
And they end up going to Ohio State. Ironically.
A lot of them, a lot of them do. Now we did have one hit the portal this year. Rogers has already left. So maybe they don't all have that same mentality and thought process, and maybe but they're not all going to be. Not every year, you take the 3 best from South SFE, and they're all top 10 in the country. They're not all going to work out every year. They're not all the same player. We've hit, I think we've hit home runs with Tate, Ennis, Jeremiah. But I knew Jamie French had said he was real interested to see how, seeing how Jeremiah was going to be used at Ohio State was going to tell him a lot as far as, pretty much going to be not a deciding factor, but a definitely going to go into the decision.
Well, that scrimmage probably helped, right?
That's what I would think. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, to see if Jeremiah is he getting a chance to play? Is he making the plays? Are they using them right? I know that some of those guys had talked about that, the 25 guys. Mm-hmm. So, you would think it would help by that performance. So,
yeah. Henry, what do you think? Think about seeing Jeremiah go against our best DBs and winning.
I mean, he is just a freaking specimen. He looks different out there. Gives me kind of Calvin Johnson vibes. Like, kind of got it all.
See, I was going to go to your wheelhouse and say Michael Irvin.
Oh, I think more speed though. I think he's just got a more overall, like more. He's even got the breakaway.
But Irvin was one
Where
of
I
those
don't.
early big receivers that could overpower a
Yeah,
DB. Remember, you know,
Yeah, for
true.
on
sure.
any route. That's why I was thinking Michael Irvin. Maybe that's my old brain coming into play. But yeah, Calvin Johnson again, same thing. You know, he's
Yep.
bigger, stronger, faster.
Yeah. And just making plays. I mean, I guess they're not going to show us the ones that he drops or whatnot. I'm sure there's some of that stuff out there, but man, the guy goes up in traffic and like that's his ball. It's like, no, that's mine, guys.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
didn't even show the
and
routine plays where he ran a sharp route and used his speed to get open and made catches. I mean, you know, they didn't even show those. Like somebody should have been just rolling tape on the entire fucking scrimmage. Like, can we get the coach's tape or something?
right.
Anyways, that's never
Yeah,
gonna
there is
happen.
a tape. But also, Joe, you talk about the whole South Florida Express down there, and on the
Yeah,
sideline watching Jeremiah Smith, Marvin Harrison, Chris
mhm,
Olave,
yeah.
JSN,
JSN,
you know,
yeah,
like first round draft pick after first round draft pick guys coming through year after year after year, pretty much, and they're all looking at Jeremiah Smith like, God damn, this kid's real. And Marv's about to be a top 5 pick, and he's like, I told you, boys, to the older guys. And that's so
yeah.
you think you had 17-year-old kids sitting there and they're like, God damn, there's one, two, three, was that 5 first round picks I see over there? Like they're all the same. The guy that taught them wants us. It can't hurt. That cannot, none of that can be a negative. I don't know how
Yeah.
I don't know how you can
Well,
put it
and
that way.
and to me, I mean, we were talking about this about Carnell Tate last year, and so we haven't even seen Ennis much, and we still got the rock solid Abuka, and then Jeremiah Smith. I mean, I expect some more transfers out of that room.
Out, yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
just because look, they are these highly recruited guys. They can play football. They just
Mhm.
can't bust the lineup at Ohio State. That's the way it is.
Yeah,
And I
Yeah,
wish
and
them
back to
well.
our
I'm not mad about any of those guys that bail. Um,
yeah, Grays and in Antwi. I mean, these guys are developed coming in. Ennis and Tate and Smith. They're just beyond passing. Like we said,
yeah.
that's the difference between top 10 overall guys in the country versus top 30 wide receiver. It's
well, I
Right.
that
mean,
we're seeing the difference.
I think you go into Ohio State like, okay, all I have to do is wait my turn and hold off the guys behind me. And when the writing's on the wall that you are not going to hold off the guys behind you, I mean,
Mhm.
it's time to bounce.
Yeah, right. I mean, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that Grays and Antwi were kind of developmental projects. If you can have that at receiver, I mean, not to the extent of an offensive lineman or a tight end, but I don't think those guys were taken as, you know, freshman starters.
Right.
And
No,
maybe
Agreed.
their path is a little bit behind where they're expected to be at this point.
and back to our conversation,
Maybe.
just what we said, like you know, they may have been developmental guys, but the 2 classes after them were those freshman starters, potential guys. So
Right. They got
they get
recruited
passed. Yeah,
over. And
yeah.
that again, I know everybody wants to tell me that Brian Hartline is the golden child. He does no wrong, but that 2022 class was trash. No offense to the players that were
Oh,
recruited,
I'm sure they
but
won't take any offense to that, Joe. I'm sure there's none
I'm,
taken.
I'm sure they're listening, Jeff. Uh, but I'm sorry. 2 transferred out, haven't done anything,
I
and the 2
again,
that
I
remain
don't think.
haven't played.
Okay, what 2022 recruits out there at wide receiver would be in here and just dominating our group? I mean, I don't think they're trash. I think they're fucking badass players that can't break the 2 deep at Ohio State. It's going to happen at every position if you're recruiting at a high level. Good dudes are going to go.
I think
Yeah,
that
I
it
mean,
was
yeah, we don't
poor
have Ennis or
recruiting.
Tate or these guys in that class, but it's because we did so well the next year.
I'm just
Again,
trying to even.
go,
I'm trying to
yeah, but
balance the
go look at
scales
those
here.
recruiting. Go look at those recruiting rankings on those guys. I mean, those aren't
I
misses.
remember. I remember. Yeah, they were all 4 stars. Caleb Burton, he was a 5 till he hurt his leg or his knee or whatever in high school. And Caleb Brown out of Chicago, I don't know, he was a 4 star too, but he went to Iowa. Hasn't done anything. I mean, what can you do at Iowa? Burton went to Auburn, I believe. Hasn't done anything. So I have to remind people that Hartline is not infallible. All right. He fucked up an entire class. Now,
No, he
he's
did.
made up
No, he
for
didn't.
it.
He did not. He built the
All
depth
right.
to have it there and just kept getting better. That you call
All
that a
right.
fuck up just amazes me.
To miss on 4 guys in one class, yeah,
He didn't miss on
that
any
is
of them,
amazing.
as far as I'm concerned. He didn't miss on
All
any of
right.
them. Well, oh, they were supposed to
Well,
be better than Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka and Fleming, and then better than Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. Every year they're supposed to be better than those guys. It's not going to happen. It can't happen,
I didn't
Joe.
say better. I said get on the field. That's the key.
There's
Get
no
on the
room on the
field.
field. There's no you can't play 5 receivers. There's no room on that field.
All right.
They got 0 snaps.
Joe, what other topic would you like to get into tonight? Because we could go around and around about this. We're all saying the same thing.
Well, Jeff, there's somebody that would like to talk to you first. I think you know him.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Let me cue him up
Cool.
here. You tell me what you think of this guy. He might have a personal problem with you.
Oh, is this my man? Is this my man?
No audio.
I see him. I see him talking, but I don't hear him talking. All right.
All right, there you go. That's Tyvus on screen. Hope you enjoyed that.
Get him, Joe.
Yeah. You know the words. Anyway. All right. So am I sharing my screen or you guys see me?
We see you. We saw Tyvus too.
Good. That's all that matters. All right. Hey, we appreciate everybody popping in here on an Easter Sunday. So much going on. I'm sorry for the non-audio and Tyvus. Just to imagine the words. I'm sure it's much better that way. Because usually it's probably blowing your eardrums out. So we're talking about defense this week. There's not a lot going on when you look at just the starters, but there is a lot bubbling under the surface. Shawn, it's like an iceberg, right?
What, 10% above the water?
Well, yeah, maybe that percentage is off a bit. Maybe if the Titanic would have known the percentages a little better, they might not have wrecked their shit. And what about that old lady? She was just a slut, right? Anyway, so we're talking defense this week. We're going to do our quick draft, 3 rounds for the 3 of us, and we're going to get into the 2 deep, which is basically the draft is a way of ranking the top 9 guys on defense, right? So that's really the focus tonight. Anything else you guys want to plow into before we get into it? Hey, don't forget about the video vault, Jeff. Jeff, have you forgotten that the video vault even exists in our world?
I have not forgotten. It is a
Have
very,
you been to the
very useful tool.
buckeyecast.com? Because that will point you in the right direction where you just need to simply tap that video vault. Uh-oh, we got fireworks. Must be spring break again. Tap that video vault link and you're in. There's no fee to sign up. It's free. You get yourself a 3-day trial, Jeff. You get all of your Buckeye legend highlights. Anybody, you name him, his highlight videos in there. You get condensed games. I've got like seasons and seasons of condensed games. And the most important thing right now is the 2025 recruiting highlights from Huddle. All their Huddle highlight videos are in there for everybody Ohio State has offered, not just the commits, not just the guys that have visited. Everybody we've offered, you can get in there. So I dare you to spend 3 days and see every video, because there's over 300 right now. Anyway, sorry, Jeff, didn't mean to blow your mind, but I thought you wanted to know that.
I did. I just, I would love to spend 3 days and not do shit but watch the videos in Ohio State's vault. I'd love to do that.
Well, you're lucky because you actually are a member, Jeff. You and Shawn are members.
Yes. I know.
In case you forgot. And everybody else is not. Well, some people are. The lucky.
The few, the proud.
That's right. So, yeah, that's about it. Visit the buckeyecast.com, hit the video vault. And besides that, did you guys have, oh, hey, did you know we hired a new running backs coach?
I saw that. Or I saw your
Allegedly.
tweet about it.
I'm first to it. If you can't be right, be first at least, right?
There you go.
So that's my goal tonight. No, I think we're getting Oregon's running back coach, Coach Locke, they call him. His name's Roscoe? No, Carlos.
I mean, that it's surprising a little bit. I mean, is that official yet or no?
Not yet. No, they'll wait till business hours to announce it.
You're basically looking at a top 5, a top 10 team coming into this year. They got high hopes out there in Oregon, and you just rip their running backs coach. That's a little strange.
Yeah, it's a domino effect. I mean, Mike Hart resigns from Michigan. Benedict Alford, as he's known on this show, takes over at the Cheaters, and now we go and rip another running backs coach from somewhere else. And then they're going to have to go get one from somebody else. So it's a never-ending cycle, it seems.
Yeah, I would love to see Mike Hart land in Eugene. That would just make it all perfect.
I know.
Not going to happen, but just to, come full circle.
What about the drinking problem he had that Michigan leaked out there?
Does that
help you?
Michigan fans were telling me that he had health problems like seizures.
Well, he did have a stroke on the sideline or something, yeah. Seizure. Something.
Well, I mean, was it alcohol related, or were they just are people just piling on him now? Because
I think it was that alcohol thing is made up. I think.
Okay.
But the health thing could be real. I mean, because he did actually have to get carted off. I don't know if it was a seizure or whatever on the sidelines, but that did happen during a game.
And which is the reason I thought he left Michigan, was because of health issues. He was going to take a year off to concentrate on his health. But then, they saw him leave, and then Michigan fans were just fucking dogging him the whole way. Like, he wasn't any good anyways, blah, blah, blah. We couldn't count on him.
Michigan is so that way with any player, with any coach. Yeah. He's the best thing ever. And then when he leaves, he was a bum, overrated. Time to get it. I mean, nobody copes like Michigan fans, man.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's the key word right there, coping. And
I've heard Michigan fans talk about how you guys' running backs aren't tough. Blah blah blah. Alford ain't shit, and then of course he lands there. And they're like, we stole Ohio State running backs coach.
They could delete tweets faster than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, so it's like you're getting with them. So
yeah.
But the problem with that is they're coming to get the running backs that Alford was working hard on.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if you could touch base at some point tonight. Just about the recruiting weekend, some of the other big names that were there that we didn't discuss, and obviously go over the 4 commitments we got real quick. at some point.
All right.
It was a
did you
huge
not
weekend as
watch-
far as a lot of.
Are you
lot of
subscribed
big
to the
names.
YouTube channel, Jeff? Are you
Yes,
sure?
I am, Joe. Yes, I
Okay.
am, Joe. Yes.
We can do
I did
that
not catch
quickly
anything
before
today.
we go ahead.
All right.
No, go on.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for just putting me on blast there.
I'm on it.
So-
I'm on it right now, as a matter of fact.
Did you catch the how about the views on that running back coach video? Pretty good, huh? But did you catch the breaking news? Breaking booms.
No,
You didn't catch the
no.
breaking booms? We got 2 guys last night, man.
Oh, though, yes. From last night, you're saying breaking news, like 10 minutes before we went on. No, I didn't see anything. I saw what happened last night. Yes, of course.
Okay. Well, we got
I was
big time linebacker commit TJ. It's not Tarvis from over in Vero Beach, which Jeff, you know as well as I do, is land of the old retirees, right?
full of them. Yes.
Yes, plenty. 6'2", 210, 215 if you're looking at other services, a 9.674, a solid high 4-star there. Nationally ranked number 63 in a class. Number 8, LB, number 8 player in the state of Florida as well. It's not a very well-kept secret. Laryngitis, whatever his name is, nailed this recruitment, got this guy locked up. And what I like about TJ Alford is he's super smart, super athletic. Some people compare him to a Jerome Baker. I think he's more like a Shazier, man. He's fucking fast. This guy has run in the 100-meter. He's like on, what was this? Back in, I don't know what year this was. I think it was like 2 years ago. 11.67 at 6'2", 215. That's 100 meters for you and me. A 23.888 in the 200. Seems solid.
Yeah. That's about where I was. That's about where I was on those times. But I'm a much smaller, not great, not that great of a football player at 6'2", 215.
I don't think you'd be talking to us if you were at 6'2", 215.
I definitely wouldn't be talking to you.
Thank you. Anyway, so is that what you wanted?
No,
I'd still talk to you, Jeff.
All right, cool. There's a lot of big names on campus. This was a huge weekend for recruiting.
Right. Yeah.
I
got a list right here. If you want me to run through them real quick. We had, sorry, it's a congestion night. Tavian St. Clair, the stud, he's there every weekend because he has taken on this recruiting, just taking it head on and made it his responsibility as the quarterback of this 2025 class. So love that he's there every weekend, getting to know these dudes. Bo Jackson, not the former Los Angeles Raider. He's from Cleveland, actually. Jordan Davison was on this weekend. He was in. Did not make the big 4-day visit with the entire family that we planned, but because he wanted to go visit Benedict Alford up there in Ann Arbor, went up there for 2 days and then was in town for Saturday and Sunday today. So that's a key one, and that's going to have the running back coach we hire is going to have a major effect on Jordan Davison. That's why I believe Coach Locke out of Oregon has a very solid relationship with Jordan Davison because he's out of Mater Dei in California. So they have a great relationship. Davison has been on campus in Oregon many times. So he has said in interviews that he feels good about the coaching staff. So I feel good about Jordan Davison being a Buckeye eventually. Anyways, Jamie French, we talked about, wide receiver from Jacksonville. My guy, VB Three Sticks, Vernell Brown III out of Orlando Jones High School, the rare Orlando recruit that we could possibly land. Dalen McCutcheon, Texas wide receiver, was in. Talon Taylor from Illinois, wide receiver, he was in. Philip Bell from California, wide receiver, he was in. I saw a beautiful photo of him and Ryan Day, look like best friends. Marcus Harris, wide receiver from Cali, was in. Wide receiver from Florida, Donovan Olabode was in. Then we talked about David Sanders earlier as a North Carolina tackle, 5-star. Carter Lowe, the Buckeye commit, currently from the 419. Shawn, up in your, does you guys don't play against Carter Lowe, do you? In high school, Shawn?
Sorry, I was on mute there. Who's what school is he with?
Whitmer,
No, we don't play Whitmer.
just the Catholic schools you play?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whitmer, Joe. Whitmer's in Whitmer, Columbia. Our old school plays Whitmer a lot. I think they're on the schedule regularly.
They're in the NOL?
That's not the NOL anymore.
SBC.
We're in the
NIL?
the GLL, isn't it? The GLL?
No, it's the
No.
SBC now.
The SBC.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Now, what does that stand for? Anyway, then we had Maryland D tackle Trent Wilson, Florida DN London Merritt, recent Buckeye commit from this week. Eli Lee, Buckeye middle linebacker commit from Akron Ho-Ban. Don't let your chicks in my Ho-Ban. Texas linebacker
That program's
Riley.
stacked. Ho-Ban.
Are
Ho-Ban
they?
stacked. Yeah.
All right. I haven't seen anybody else from them around, but anyway. Texas linebacker Riley Pettijohn, Texas corner Dorian Brew, and I think he's half Ohio, half Texas, as far as his citizenship goes. But anyway, he's in the Houston area. He was in Fahim Delane, Maryland safety, huge
Big
Buckeye
time, big
target.
time.
Need him.
Yes.
Texas safety Jonah Williams, California safety Jaden Hudson. That's it for the 25s. I'm not even going to get into the 26s. Anyways,
No.
this was a monster weekend, man. And you could see that, we just cranked out 4 guys in 2 days as far as commits go. So, who's this Amari Saab? Is he related to that Michigan kid?
That's not bolded. That Saab left Michigan.
I know. I'm wondering if this guy, because he's a 26 guy from Jersey.
Where that Saab was from.
This guy is. Anyway, we'll get back to that. So yeah, I got an episode of the Daily Blitz coming out shortly. It might be Tuesday, where I set you up for the upcoming visits. Spring game is freaking stacked. Anybody and everybody, a lot of current commits, but also a lot of targets for the Buckeyes. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some commits coming out of that weekend, 2 weeks from yesterday. So we'll see what happens there. Anything else on the recruiting front you wanted to hit, Jeff? Do you want to go through the other commits? We got Deshaun Stewart. You want to talk about him? Hello? Hello?
Sorry. My Wi-Fi's been going crazy today.
Yeah, or you hit the mute button, whatever.
Or that one or two. But no, I hadn't honestly don't know too much. I haven't seen a lot of tape on any of the guys that we did get commits from. I've been watching more of the the big names that you had just mentioned, David Sanders, Dorian Brew, Fahim Delane. Those were the names that I kind of hoping we'd get one of those, especially with Alfred committing. I was hoping we'd get another one of those big name targets. But I mean, none of these guys are below high 4-stars, so it's not like we're just scraping. We're just kind of scraping in. They're just not the blue chip of the blue chip targets.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully that comes, I know some other guys have announcement dates scheduled, in the next month or so. So we hopefully it seems like it was a good experience. I haven't heard or seen any bad news or bad visits or anything went wrong necessarily. So hopefully, there's a lot of progress there, and we get some more in the next month or two. Probably by end of June we'll have a much clearer idea, right? I think a lot of
Well,
the
yeah,
announcement dates will be
you got
in by then.
officials starting at the end of May through the middle of June. So a
Right.
lot of dudes have already locked in their official visits, meaningful guys. So we did bring in Saturday night 4-star wide receiver Desai Jones. He's from New Jersey. He came in, joined the class, 6', 190. He's from DePaul. And then tonight, his teammate and a childhood friend of his, he's listed as a corner, but he's going to play safety in college. 4-star Deshaun Stewart committed to the Buckeyes. He's like 6'1", 190. Same high school at DePaul Catholic in Jersey, committed. So you got a nice stream here of solid 4-stars. And Alfred is obviously the top dog in this group of 4. London Merritt, the guy we got, was that Friday? Was that Friday? Thursday? Friday? I don't know if I remember.
Friday.
My brain's mush. Anyway, London Merritt, it's a really, really good D end coming in. He's from Atlanta, but he's going to spend his senior year down in IMG. He's not there. I don't think he's there yet. Is he? No. He was at Woodward Academy in Atlanta. It's a really good school. So he's a monster. Can't wait to see him on the field. So right now, when you look at the national rankings, Notre Dame's number 1, but they have all 4 and 3 stars. They already have 19 guys committed.
Volume, yeah, they're volume shooters. That will not keep them around the top. They got a good class. I mean, they got some studs. They do have a couple high guys too. But
right.
But having guys down at IMG, they're gonna get worked on all year. Bama cleans up a lot. Well, Saban used to clean up a lot at IMG late in the process. We'll see how their current staff handles that. But having a guy transfer into IMG for a senior year, that's just kind of putting them more on target for other schools. So it's definitely going to be a battle to keep guys like that in. But like we said, we're in the lead now, so better than chasing, I think.
Right.
We'll see how the official visits time out. Like are we last in line on the official visits? Do we get our last crack at some of these guys? That's a lot of that plays a big factor. Who gets the kid last and that kind of stuff. So we'll kind of have to see how that develops through the summer.
Right. If you do the reasonable, logical rankings, and that is by average commit ranking, which only makes sense because we have 10, Notre Dame has like 20. You can't really rank total points there, right? So by average, the Buckeyes are number 1 in the country right now at a 95.15. 2 5-stars, 8 4-stars, and 1 3-star. Is that 3-star like a fucking long snapper or something? I don't know. Anyways, USC is right behind us. They're at a 9.457, but they only have 6 dudes. And
they might not hang on. And a lot of those guys, they might not. Some of those guys from Georgia, they might not hang on to.
Right. Then LSU, Florida State. Again, these guys have tiny classes. 4 guys. Florida State has 4 guys.
Michigan has 3.
There you go. Perfect example.
Sparty has. I looked at Sparty has 0. Oh.
There you go. That's easy math right there. Your average recruit is 0.0. Lutarski. So yeah, starting off with a bang, and I think this train's going to keep rolling, especially through the spring game. So, what else? We need to get into this draft here. How do you guys feel about that?
Remember, run the details past Shawn again. I don't think Shawn wasn't here for the offense, I don't think.
Yeah, he was. It was like a month
Okay.
ago.
I know
Yeah,
it's been, like I said, it's been what, a month since we've talked to Shawn?
I can pull those up. It's a good point, Jeff. I'm glad you brought that up. It has been a month since we talked to Shawn.
I couldn't remember if that was the show he was on or if that was the one we did after him.
That was the last one, yeah.
That's
Last
right.
change.
Mike dropped that draft, bitch.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd say that, but
Okay.
I can pull it up here. What year was that? Was that February?
No, first week of March. Anyways, so how do you want to determine the draft? Age before beauty, or how we want to do this?
I like that. So I go first.
We'll let you. Well, I'm the youngest.
I would go first.
No, you wouldn't. Jeff, who's better looking?
I'm the
Me.
oldest age, not youngest age.
All right, I'm gonna flip a coin. Ready? You guys call it in the air.
I will.
Both of you will. Ready? Go.
Tails.
I said tails first.
I win.
Fuck.
Guess tails. Anyway, so let's do the draft here. Let me pull up my little trusty scholarship grid so I make sure you're not cheating. So this is 3 rounds. Each of us get a pick. I go first, of course. And then Shawn goes next because he's the next oldest.
I'm the oldest, dumbass.
Right,
Joe,
but
Shawn, and
I
me.
won the toss, Shawn. Don't you respect the toss?
Respect your elders. Yeah.
Eat it, dude. So I'm going to go first. And my first pick, oh boy, do I go with a linebacker, a corner, a safety, D tackle, D end, maybe a Jack Sawyer, JT Tuamolo out? Caleb Downs. Ooh. But he's not gonna get pressure on the quarterback very often. I'm gonna go Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer's led the team the last 2 years in sacks, although it's not a giant number. I'm going Jack Sawyer. First pick. Shawn, you're next in age.
Sonny Style.
Sonny Styles. Okay. Is he starting?
He's gonna be. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of confidence there.
A lot of confidence.
Okay. Jeff. Last
Big
pick.
Cat. Tyleek Williams.
Ooh. I wanted to
right.
back up. I wanted to back up Sonny with Tyleek.
Yeah.
Most important to the interior of that line, as far as pressures and with stopping the run. We need Tyleek Williams to play like an All-American this year.
Okay. Like it. So that's an aggressive first pick, taking a guy right in the middle. It's going to get blocked a lot. So back to me. This is not a snake draft. I really like Cody Simon. I like being close to the ball. But yeah.
It's an audio medium, Joe.
What does that mean?
It means talk.
Oh,
man.
oh, sorry. I thought you could hear my thoughts. Uh, I'm going Burke, Denzel Burke, lock down one side of the field, done. Denzel Burke.
Hmm.
I got my pass rusher. I got my lockdown corner. That's a good foundation. Go ahead, Shawn.
All right. Well, I'm gonna have to go with my guy, who I thought was going to be a top 10 pick in this year's draft. And I need my D lineman. I'm going with JT.
Wow, he made it to the second round. That's
Wow,
interesting.
you guys. Wow. Making it too easy. Making it too easy.
Go.
Caleb Downs, All
Okay.
American.
The guy
Playmaker.
that's 10 yards, 15 yards from the ball. That's fine.
Are we so, okay? So, what is the relationship to where they line up to the ball? How is that factoring in, Joe? Why?
Just their effect
I
on
picked the
every
guy. I
play.
picked the guy I picked closest to the ball. You shit on that, and I picked the guy furthest away from the ball,
Yeah.
the
Do you
biggest
see a
playmaker. You
pattern
shit on
here?
that.
Or do you see a
You,
pattern?
you
Oh,
shit on Joe. I
I
got you.
love Caleb.
Perfect.
I
I
love
see it.
Caleb Downs' pick. That was who
No,
I was going to
I
go
was
with.
debating. I was debating him on the first pick, honestly. So
Yeah,
he's a guy you got to think about, and I'm
and
sure that quarterbacks will have to think about him too. Go ahead, Joe. Did you go? Wait.
yeah, I went back to
All
you.
right. So third round, final round. All right. So we got both ends off the board. We got Tyleek off the board. Nobody. Shawn took Sonny, which he doesn't even know is going to be a starter
Yeah,
every
you
down.
watch.
Jeff took the guy farthest away from the line of scrimmage.
That may lead the team in tackles.
Well, if the front seven sucks, yeah. IGB, I could go IGB, lock down that other half of the field. Then I don't know what the fuck you're going to do throwing the
We're going to run
ball.
it down your throat.
I love Cody Simon. That's a sentimental pick for me. We only play two linebackers. That's what sucks. Oh, I got it. Boom. Jordan Hancock. I'll go Jordan Hancock. That kid,
Hmm.
he will fucking take your slot receiver out of the game, and he will come up and shut down the running game. He'll come up. You can even blitz him out of the slot. You got to. It's right there on the line of scrimmage. He will do all the things. He's like a Shawn Wade, man. That's my guy, Jordan Hancock. Boom, done. Go ahead, Shawn.
All right. I don't hate that. I mean, I love all the corners and the backup even. Who I think if any of the corners go out, right, it's going to be Jermaine Matthews that takes any of their spot. It seems like they're like, this guy's tried everywhere, he excels
Yeah.
everywhere, and he's going to be the next guy in there. But for my third pick, yeah, I'll go. I went linebacker, D line. Let's move back into that secondary with you, and I'll get on my boy Lathan Ransom.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Strong
yeah,
safety.
I think senior leadership, been in the program, knows what he's doing. I expect a real solid year out of Lathan Ransom. Liked him his whole
Yeah.
career, frankly. You know,
The only
couple
issue with
screw
him
ups
has
here and
been,
there.
yeah, the only issue has been health for him, honestly. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
he's
that's
had
my
some
guy.
serious injury. All right. I like it. Jeff, wrap her up.
CJ Hicks, the last pick of the
Wow. Okay.
last pick of the draft. CJ Hicks is laying around. Yeah, I'll take CJ Hicks. Potential. I mean, this potential is just it's immeasurable right now.
Right.
You know, obviously there's questions of him and Sonny playing the same spot and fighting for playing time. I think I think CJ Hicks is going to be on the field plenty. I think I don't to what extent, depending on what teams and what that's all I think we're so versatile in that defense. It's going to change a lot as far as our groupings and personnel groupings.
Right.
But I was going Jordan Hancock. That's who I was going to take. I love Jordan Hancock as far as how key he is to our defense. But to grab to grab CJ Hicks last with his
Well, one of
potential,
those
yeah.
guys is not starting. between CJ and
Well,
Sonny. So you guys can
yeah.
dicker over that.
Joe, I'm glad you're in the meetings and you can break that down for us. But there's gonna I have a feeling that maybe you may not have heard everything in the meetings with the coaches, and there may be times where we do have the two of them on the field together, depending on, like I said, offensive schemes that we're playing against, personnel groupings.
Right. I might have been in the shitter at that time.
But it is shit on Jeff night, so I understand. I feel comfortable
Just
with Caleb Downs, CJ Hicks, and Tyleek. I feel really good about the three I just chose.
All right.
And anybody that has those three would feel really good about their defense if you had those three on it.
I mean, I feel like we could keep going and go top 5 because I think, you can build depth in here with some of these players. Obviously, Cody Simon, Caden Curry, Kenyatta Jackson, Matthews,
disrespect for Cody Simon.
Matthews Jr.
Yeah,
I love Cody Simon. I think he's probably going to be an anchor on that defense, and be the guy that we need to get everybody lined up right. But to me, he's going to be solid. Where these other guys, I'm expecting big things from early draft status.
I could see our defense having about 15 guys that maybe all have roughly the same snap counts. As far as that much of a rotation. You picture 11 on the field and 4 more. Take 4 more guys. The next 4 guys after those first 11. I think they're at each of those positions, defensive end, the linebacker, or the defensive backs with Matthews. You're going to have guys that are going to be playing a lot. Yeah. So I think our defense is just, the potential is just there for so much flexibility. We have talent, depth at every position. Health wise, and it's just health is going to hopefully not wear a group out too thin, like we've experienced in the past years.
Right. Okay.
But it's coming. Injuries are coming somewhere. I mean, they're going to happen. Every team's going to have them. We're probably going to have a key guy at some position, that we are penciling in for big things this year, go down with an injury. Luckily, at just about every position, we have a guy that we're going to feel comfortable about that's going to be coming in. Like, okay, now it's his turn.
Yep.
So,
all right. Well, let's get to our 2 deeps on the defense. Oh, maybe let's run through the chat real quick. All right. Our 2 deep is going to have to go quickly. Let's start from the top here. Tyler, first one in. Wow, that's a first for you, Tyler. Good job.
Tyler.
I owe to you. Tyler says OH with lots of nuts. Tyrone is in. What's up, Tyrone? Good to see you. He says, what's up, everyone? Billy is in. He says, hey, everybody. And Billy says, Buckeye recruiting. Tyrone says these Notre Dame fans are going crazy since Saka chose Notre Dame over OSU. Yeah, I'm not sure that was a real OSU versus Notre Dame battle. Linebacker Anthony Saka. No big deal.
I never heard of him.
Does Jaden Davis hit the spring portal? I wouldn't rule anything out up there. When, we haven't talked about the letter or the notice of allegations. Nobody has talked about that. I believe the NCAA released that to the cheaters. Buried it. They're really good at burying things somehow. Jimmy Hoffa up there? Who knows? Maybe. Anyway, Doug Shepard's in. What's up, Doug? And he says, hey, gang. Tyrone says Jeremiah Smith is going to be an absolute beast. Yeah, he kind of already is, just in practice at least. Doug says exactly that. Billy says that. Mika says we probably don't have Dallin Hayden much longer. No, Dallin Hayden's probably hitting the portal here after spring ball. We did get a crystal ball for a UMass portal transfer. His name is Kayron Lynch Adams. He's from Warren, I believe Warren, Ohio, right? Pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah, over there on the East Coast, over there over there,
East
Youngstown
Coast.
area.
Yeah.
East Coast, Ohio.
Right. Where before it falls off the face of the earth. So yeah, you're right, Mika. Down Hayden, probably Gonzo. Who knows where he will go? I would love to hear his dad's input on this, because I imagine it has to do with Tony Alford leaving. That's my guess.
Well, my first guess was, my first thought was, this motherfucker's going to go up to Michigan. He's going to go. He's going to go
Yeah,
coach Alfred,
right. Could be.
or Tennessee. You know, back home to Tennessee is. I mean, it's that Tennessee shit's been rumored for 2 years now.
Well, they've been coming after him nonstop. Yeah.
Yeah. But I totally expect him to go up to Michigan. And then just them taking, fucking our running back last year, and
They got
just whatever.
Jordan Marshall out of Cincy.
Jordan.
That's the only. He's an in-state guy. Yeah, that's a good win for them. But we can't take everybody. But anyway, yeah, Down Hayden probably gone. Billy says JJ reminds me of DK Metcalf with his body. He's talking about Jeremiah Smith. Yeah, I would say. Maybe not quite as bulky. Odysseus says Wink Martindale is peeing his pants seeing JJ Smith footage. Yeah, I agree. Tyler says, I always thought that he was like a Julio Jones receiver. Yeah, I could see that. Big body. Doug says, if recruits think that they will be used like Jeremiah Smith, they better show up 6'4" and over 200 pounds, run and jump like a deer. They're not starting as freshmen. So fair point. Yeah, you got to be freaky.
Right, and I don't, and most of those receivers, I don't think they come in like that. I mean, Carnell Tate to Ennis to even, well, I mean, even like Olave for sure wasn't, because he was a lower ranked guy, but Garrett Wilson was a 5-star top 5 receiver in the country. He didn't come in with that attitude of, now granted, he didn't have the size either. He was 6 foot 175 or 6 whatever. But like none of our great receivers, Marvin Harrison, even Fleming, Ibuka, 5 stars, top guys in the country, none of them came in with that, well, we feel we should be starting, but they're all quick to recognize, well, Jeremiah's different. Like this dude is, like, look at his size. He's coming. He's ready now. Maybe I don't think a lot of those freshman receivers that were at the scrimmage Saturday, or not the freshmen, the recruits. I don't think they were looking there like, man, we can come in here and ball next year. I think I don't think they're looking like that, because I don't think Hartline would even continue the relationship if they were just like, if I'm not seeing playing time my first year, I'm not even, we might as well not even talk. Hartline wouldn't be dealing with them that, because he knows what he's got year after year.
I think they all come in with that attitude, because you want that attitude out of your receivers, right? They're always a little bit cocky, whatnot.
Sure.
But I also think they're realists too, and they're like, okay, look who's in front of me, and it's just that Jeremiah he appears to be that guy that can do some of those things. But you're right, most of 5 stars can't come in, not in this deeper room. At a lot of other programs, yeah, they would go play. And that's just another testament to Ohio State and all those guys you mentioned earlier, all those first-round draft picks sitting on the sideline. That's like, yeah, I could go somewhere and play right away, but I play here and I'm getting drafted high in the NFL.
It's
that's what the 5 stars are. There's
Yeah.
only 32 of them in every class, because they're projected as first-round draft picks in the NFL draft. So
yeah,
that's why there's only 32, and definitely not every 5 star is not created equal.
And it depends on the year you come in. If Jeremiah Smith came in last year, the year before, guess what? He's not starting. Yeah. He's just not. The dudes in front of him are proven, they're all first rounders too. And not that he couldn't, but it's just, hey, that's the way of the world.
Yeah. So continuing here in the chat, I hope we have a QB that can get them the ball. I think we do. But Odysseus says,
I don't know. Do you?
Shawn, I don't know. It was a scrimmage. I saw good plays by both Devin Brown. But I will say I've been meaning to make this point, and we haven't all been together to do it. But I will say something that's been on my mind for a while, and this is going to everybody, all the reporters, beat writers, podcasters, losers, whoever. But do not
Even you
shove
losers.
us. We're losers. Do not shove Devin Brown out the fucking door. All right. I don't agree with this kind of overarching assumption that Will Howard is suddenly the starting quarterback. Why? You know, I don't agree with that mindset. It's fucking March, almost April 1st. So let's chill out on the we got to start a quarterback talk already. We don't. It's going to go into the fall camp. You're not going to get one. You'll get one before the season. Ryan Day's not going to fuck this up again and take this into week 3, 4, 5. But do not shove Devin or anybody else in that room out the fucking door. You know, I don't like that. And I learned my fucking lesson last year, sticking up for fucking Kyle McCord at this time. So anyway, moving on.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, thanks. Billy says, yeah, we talked about Billy. Odysseus says, how can any defense defend Emeka, Tate, and JJ? Yeah. And don't forget about Ennis, please. And thank you. Doug says,
Yeah,
exactly.
well, are we going to get some solid tight end play that can soften up that middle a little bit?
Probably not. No,
I think we have. I think we have the receivers right now that will be just fine taking the middle, working the outer routes, working the deep balls, the intermediates. I think we have guys that can do all of them right now. But you're right, Shawn. We do need to see. We need to see what tight end's going to, emerge. I guess from that group of 3 or 4. I think like they all do different things, but we got to see one that's going to be consistent enough at all facets.
All right. We got to get through this chat, Jeff, before we get into our defensive 2D. All right. Can't talk 5 minutes about tight ends. Odysseus says, how can any defense? Yeah, I said that. Doug says, I'm thinking we average over 40 a game this year. Maybe. Yeah, definitely early on. The first 5 games are garbage. Tyler says Will Johnson is crapping his pants seeing JJ. Yeah, I agree. Billy says, and we'll only need to score 10, if that, to win. Very good point, Billy. You've been paying attention to the defense. Defense is very good. Doug says, Will Johnson's going to find it impossible to hold JJ. A lot of Will Johnson versus JJ talk here. Love it. I'm here for it. Odysseus says JJ will draw doubles and triple teams, which should, combined with Chip Kelly's offense, open up the running game. Yeah, triple's aggressive, but
yeah, you can't triple. I mean, you're not gonna leave Tate and Ibuka, running around out there. I mean,
8 guys to cover the rest of the team. Yeah. Odysseus says Johnson spilled the beans, bought, not built, LOL. Yeah, Will Johnson did say that the reason he came back was for the NIL money, even though if you go to any Michigan message board, it is they came back because they love the school, right? It's always the refrain.
Right.
Billy says, no facts ever change a cheater's fan's opinion. Very good, Billy. Tyler says, if JJ gets double or triple team, Tate and Ennis gets one more one-on-ones. Exactly. Great point, Tyler. Doug says, I like sluts. Okay. Was this intended for our show, Doug? Maybe you're on the wrong chat. Go back to your OnlyFans tab.
I don't see that one.
You did mention sluts. You were talking about somebody was such a slut.
Oh.
You did mention sluts earlier, Joe. I do believe.
It happened so quickly. It was just over. It was over so fast. Odysseus says, seems like an upgrade at RB coach. Yep. Good job. Yeah, I think, Coach Locke, Carlos Lachlan, he's from Montgomery, Alabama. So he's got Southern ties. We lock up Coach Locke. We're in good place. He's only like 47 years old, so he's still got the energy. And somebody took offense in my video today. I said, he has to be a strong recruiter because there's no running backs around the state of Washington worth recruiting. Somebody took offense to that, and they didn't even hear what I said. Anyways, it's true though. There aren't running backs worth recruiting in the state of Washington. So that Coach Locke has to get on a plane every time he wants to bring a kid in. It's a point. But I love it. Billy says, I'm intrigued by Lachlan. If we get him, could be a big upgrade. I think so too. Tyler says, massive upgrade. Billy says he was a prison guard. He's tough. Yeah, he was. Tyler says, Coach Lachlan. There you go. Odysseus says, Scum, former D-line coach, is the one who couldn't stop drinking and driving.
Yeah, that was the D-line coach, not Hart, that had those multiple DUIs.
But people did say when Mike Hart left or resigned or whatever, that he had a drinking problem. It was before the D-line coach got busted for the DUI. A lot of drinking issues up there, just saying. And what about that one kid that tried to meet the underage girl in the back of the Walmart? He had vodka and stuff. What's going on there?
Oh, yeah, the staffer. Yeah, the video.
Good?
He looked like,
was that his name?
I forget his name. I forget, but yeah, that video. That video is priceless. He could have just been some kid that was wearing a Michigan jacket, but they said he worked in the leg department. I don't know what the fuck he was doing.
He was in the wrong place at the wrong time with vodka. I'll tell you that. Anyway, let's not get in down that road. Doug says he had DTs on the sidelines. Yep, is that what it was? DTs, the delirium tremens. I don't know if he had DTs. I thought it was a seizure, but we can laugh about other people's health issues. Odysseus says now they hired WMU defensive coordinator as D-line coach. I saw that. Yeah, good luck. Odysseus says WMU was 86 in total D last year.
Yeah, I saw that. Good luck.
Tyler says the fucking cheaters, Joe, simply don't accept the fact they are wrong. I know, man. Billy says, I think Shawn Moore is way over his head. Yeah, probably. Scott Young, what's up, Scott? He says, go Bucks. Go Bucks, Scott. Doug says that would be a 10-second and change 100 yards so he can move. Must be there, Doug. T-Dub, what's up, T-Dub? Says, is Stewart a dog? I don't know. I think he's a person, but he likes the Buckeyes because they create dogs. So, I don't know a lot about this guy, Deshaun Stewart, 4-star out of Jersey. I always like safeties and defensive players out of Jersey. They're pretty tough, rugged. So, yeah, I'll give him some percentage of dog. Tyler says, Doug, we're going to whip Sharon Moore's team's ass. Trying to speed up here so we can get to our 2 deep. Oh, Don Warwick's in. He says, hi, Joe, Jeff, happy Easter. Happy Easter to you, Pops.
Yeah. Just saw him a little bit ago. We had him at the house today. A little cookout.
Oh, all right.
It's Easter up here too, Mr. Warwick. Happy Easter.
Nah, he doesn't acknowledge people in Michigan. You know that.
That's true. I forgot.
All right, we gotta get into this. Yeah, people are giving their draft picks. Damn it, we don't have time to get to that. We got to do our 2 deep here quickly. We got 12 minutes. All right. I'll kick it off. We're starting with D line. This is pretty easy. DNs are JT and Jack, with Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry behind him. Any disagreements?
No. It's been that way since the season ended. I mean, we knew that these four were, once we knew all four would be here, that's the four.
Yeah.
Since the season started last year, it was those four,
Pretty
right?
much hasn't changed. Yeah. All
I
right.
like
How
it a
about
lot.
there you go. D tackles Ty Hamilton and Tyleek Williams, your starters. Now behind them, you guys might want to argue these. I got Caden McDonald, second year guy, and Hero Canoe, the third year guy. But you do also have some guys here. Taiwan Malone coming into his fourth year, the
Yep.
transfer from Ole Miss. You got Jason Moore. I'm looking for big things from him. So he's a candidate. Will Smith Jr. didn't get any action at all last year. He was dealing with an injury. So I'm willing to listen to your disagreements there on the D tackles. Go ahead, Jeff.
Not much disagreement. I mean, the starters are the starters. Uh, they've proven that they're the top two. I think behind that, I think you're gonna see a pretty well distributed playing time between the three you mentioned. Jason Moore, Cade McDonald, Tyrone Malone. I think there's gonna be a lot. Yeah, Canoe. There's gonna be a lot of rotation there. I think. Probably all I would say, barring injuries, the four of them after the first two are going to be roughly all about the same, I think, as far as snap counts, if injuries don't play a part.
Well, I would agree with the caveat. I think early on there's going to be a lot of parity in snap counts, and then I think you'll have guys separate and start to be more productive out there. And excited to see who that is because Tyleek and Ty are both gone after next year, so we desperately need some development in the interior D line, and so
Yeah.
I'm hoping for a steady dose of rotation with
Yeah,
those guys getting in there, especially in blowouts.
Yeah. Last year
big
you got
recruiting year this
Hero,
year too.
right? Hero with 90 snaps, Taiwan Malone 49, Kate McDonald 35, Jason Moore just 3. So yeah, there is like no experience behind the starters.
But I mean, D line's one of those positions too, Joe, that you can probably mask a little bit of inexperience because you're dealing with if the kid's got the raw talent,
Yeah.
and he's just not blockable. He's just not blockable. It doesn't matter if he's played before or not. So
Right.
I would say that's one position I think we can feel good about with experience at linebacker behind him,
Mhm.
especially. I think we can feel comfortable about our lack of depth experience. Not lack of depth talent wise, but just experience. I think D line, interior D line is and rush edge would be two spots that you can kind of mask some of that inexperience.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
That's the reason that these guys have had so few snaps is because they were so young. These guys were not ready. Even
yeah,
Taiwan Malone, even though he was 3 years in, has split time with baseball and football. So anyways, I don't want to spend a lot of time just
yeah.
focusing on that because we got a lot more to get to here in the next 8 minutes. Middle linebacker, Cody Simon's your starter. That's pretty much in stone. And then behind him, Gabe Powers. Any disagreements there?
No, that's it. I mean,
I'm not really sure. I mean, Cody Simon, yeah, I'll give you, but I don't know if it's Gabe behind him. I feel like Jeff said earlier that there's going to be a time when Hicks and Sonny are two linebackers on the field. I think Hicks might come in to replace Simon at times.
and then it's all going to be like you said,
My gut
exactly,
feel.
Sean.
Gut feel.
We mentioned that it's going to be based on a lot of things, as far as what the schemes are and what teams are trying to do, what the
Well,
offenses are running.
I would say Sonny and CJ are going to be on the fields at the same time if they're running a 4-3. Sonny will move over to the Sam probably, and
So,
CJ will stay at the will, but I'm not sure one of them is going to replace Cody Simon in
Joe,
just a
we're not
typical.
necessarily saying
I'm not saying
replacing
replace.
him.
I'm saying you
No,
said the
we're
two
not.
deep. I think CJ Hicks will go in for Cody Simon before Gabe Powers, is my point.
Oh, my.
Well,
Okay.
so if he's
I
saying
disagree
so
with
if
that
CJ Hicks
100%.
is on your two deep at middle linebacker. I got you. All right.
No,
What so
no.
let's go to the will then. We'll keep moving through the line here.
All right. I'm going Sonny as my starter at will. CJ backing him up.
Okay. I mean,
I'm sure
just because just off of just experience, I mean, I won't I won't disagree with that. Just
Sonny
because
Styles has played 2 full years in the defense. CJ Hicks has played. Where's he at here?
Right.
CJ 75 snaps last year.
So yeah, so right now, if you're putting starting Will linebacker, Sonny, backup Will, CJ, but maybe Shawn is saying CJ's backing up at the Will and Mike. And I just think that as the season goes on and we start implementing more and Knowles feels more confident and comfortable with the guys, he's gonna start putting more and more in and just seeing what these guys can do. And you could see a time where you might have Sonny and CJ Hicks on the field, but one of they're going to be playing multiple type positions, those hybrid positions. Whereas
Right.
you might see
You
one
got
of
to
them
remember,
coming off
we're
the edge
talking about
rushing. Yeah,
we're talking base
no, but as
defense
far as
here.
as far as
the
far as the depth chart,
4-2-5.
as far as your depth chart, Joe, yeah, CJ Hicks behind Sonny at the will. And now we move on to the slot corner or the third
Well,
safety.
let's get Henry. You got input on the will there?
I think kind of what Jeff said, that it would be Hicks to replace either one of those guys, probably in my mind, just because I don't know. I'm a fanboy. But I'm not ruling out, Court Williams, he's a graduate. Why, can he
He's
get
still
on the field?
recovering. He's recovering from injury still. He blew his ACL back in August. It's going to be a long time before we see him.
Is Arvell Reese doing anything yet?
Yeah, he flashed in the scrimmage this week, but I don't know if he knows the defense well enough to play a fucking Mike.
No, I think they like him more on the edge. I thought.
No, at week.
Okay.
Or well,
maybe,
whatever.
but I don't know how you're going to supplant Styles or Hicks in the 2D. We're talking 2D.
Yeah, we're not supplanting him. I think Shawn's just bringing his name up.
Oh yeah. I love Arvell Reese. I think he's super freaky. He's a very freaky linebacker. And you don't take home the mother. All right.
You beat me to it.
You're welcome. Corners. Oh, so my last point on the linebackers is, yes, we will occasionally have to go to a 4-3 with CJ, Sonny, and Simon across the linebacker core, but that's only against like run heavy fronts, right? So it's not going to be against your typical offense. You're going to play that against the cheaters, because they're going to line up in heavy, try and run the ball down your throat. So you will see the 4-3. But the base defense with just 2 linebackers is Cody and I think Sonny.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go down another deep hole with you. I'm picturing changes. The defense itself, their scheme, kind of morphing into different things. Whereas
these guys are versatile.
So that's why that's yes, and that's where I'm getting. We might see the 2 of them on the field, and not Cody Simon losing his starting position, but just that position not being part of that different scheme that they're running. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm just picturing that as the season goes on and we start doing more and more, and these guys are learning more and more and can do everything Knowles comes up with, because he can. I mean, it's a defensive coordinator's dream to look at these guys and how many Arvell Reeses and there are people that just can do all kinds of different things. And we got 5 great defensive backs like we're going to talk about. So, I mean, I'm sure he's going to start thinking of just new shit to throw at offenses, different packages, and that kind of stuff. It's exciting to think about potential.
Yeah, I'm excited. So yeah, I think we got linebacker figured out. Corners, Burke and IGB are your starters at the outside. Behind them, I got Jermaine Matthews, and I don't know. I couldn't decide between Lorenzo Styles and Calvin Simpson Hunt. So I'm going to go with a little slash there and or at the other corner. Any disagreement? You
I
don't see
think Joe.
freshmen starting, right? Or
Well, I
filling
mean,
that too deep.
I don't know. I mean, Jermaine Matthews got in there last year for a little stint, didn't he?
Yeah, I got him. I got
Um,
him in my
And
two deep.
no, but I mean, as a freshman, what I'm saying, I don't know if I don't know what
some of
we've
his,
seen on Scott and Bryce West
Mhm. Yeah, I
yet,
guess.
but
But they're kind
those
of
are
blocked.
serious
They're kind of
dudes.
cock blocked. It's more about that, who's in front of them, not about their ability.
Agreed. But I think again, like I said earlier, I think at the corner position, whether it's left, right, or slot, nickel, whatever you want to call it, I think Jermaine Matthews is probably the guy they're going to go with. I hear a lot of good about that dude.
Mhm. I agree. But yeah, see, Calvin Simpson Hunt stepped in last year. That's why I was up in the air with him and Lorenzo Styles. Styles is in his third year in college football. He played, 2 years there at Notre Dame, but he did play corner in high school. And I actually got him factored in here to the slot corner, nickel safety, whatever the fuck you want to call him. So I don't know if I could put a freshman above Matthews, Styles, and Calvin Simpson Hunt as a backup at the corner. Jeff, can you?
no, no, but yeah, I think Jermaine Matthews would be the number two behind all three of the corner spots.
He's your
If that's
third
what
man
you were
in.
saying, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
that's
if any, if it's IGB Hancock or Denzel going down, I think Matthews is taking that spot. I think there's a lot of they're cross training a lot of those guys, and
Sure.
even a Jordan Hancock. And say if you lose, God forbid, if you lost to Denzel and an IGB for long, periods, 6 games plus of the season,
Mhm.
I think Jordan Hancock is moving out. I think
probably.
they're gonna.
I'd agree with that.
Good.
I think he's cross trained enough to be able to play on the outside, and they're just
Mhm.
gonna know. Well, hey man, he's one of our fucking better guys. We got to move him out there because
Yeah.
we need to go have somebody match up against and Jermaine Matthews in the other side.
I just
And
what I want
then
to
you're
see
looking at
though
somebody
is
moving in.
I want to see a lot of these young guys getting some serious playing time because again, much like D tackle, these guys are all gone next year.
Well, and the
Denzel,
schedule's set up for it, John. Right? I mean, the
Denzel and
schedule's set
Jordan
up
for
for it.
sure, and possibly Igbenogany.
IGB, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel all those guys are going to be gone. And again, I want some reps on some of these younger guys, Calvin Simpson, maybe some
Yeah.
of the freshmen. Because following them next year, we got two more stud friggin' freshmen coming in.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that. And this goes for all positions across the board. We theoretically could be doing a three deep because you're going to need to play 16 games to
Well, I
win the
mean,
title.
is this the oldest team that you can remember for the Buckeyes? I mean, I feel
Yeah,
like
kind of.
so
Yeah.
many upperclassmen
Yeah.
uh, on this
Yeah.
roster.
Well,
The key players are 2021 guys, Travion, Emeka, Donovan
Sawyer,
Jackson,
JT.
Josh
Jack,
Simmons,
JT,
Jack Sawyer, JT, Tyleek, Burke,
and
Hancock,
and
Styles. That's
and
Lorenzo Styles Jr.,
and what allowed
not
all these guys
Sonny.
to come back? I mean, this NIL, we the collectives and High State kind of got their shit together and got organized with these NILs,
Right.
and that's why we were able to keep a lot of them. I mean, in years past, before NIL, we would have 9 juniors going into the draft, and our pro day would be fucking glorious, and there'd be all kinds of NFL coaches and shit there because we had studs coming out every year. Because I think NIL had a lot to do with it, and how the momentum was building for the team and the letdown in the bowl. I think a
Uh-huh.
lot of that all kind of culminated together. But I think NIL was a big deal in keeping these guys come back for, as the seniors. So yeah, it's just one of those years. Typically, we don't. Typically we are younger because we are losing guys. 3 years. We this is just that one year. Like it's a lot similar to Michigan going into last year.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
except the quarterback experience. But as far
Okay.
as the number
The
of
only
guys came back and how
sophomore
old,
on
All right.
our whole starting defense is Caleb Downs. Everybody
Mhm.
else is junior
Right.
or older.
Senior,
Yeah.
yeah.
And barring injury, you got to expect that most of those juniors on that defense are NFL caliber. So, I mean, that's the thing too. We have I don't know, at least 10 caliber NFL players on defense.
So we got to finish up
10
here.
of,
We didn't do the safeties yet. Starting with the nickel, the slot, I got Hancock, Ransom at the strong, and then Caleb at the deep. Then behind them, I know Jermaine Matthews has been working the spring at the slot behind Hancock, but also Lorenzo Styles. He's got the length, which I love, in a corner. So I got those two guys kind of either or behind Hancock, and then behind Ransom, I got Jihad Carter. We haven't seen hardly any of, and then Malik Hartford, the second-year guy behind Downs at the deep. Any differing opinions?
No, Malik should be a stud. He was a real high rated recruit. I'm looking forward to seeing what that guy's got.
You know,
He was a
visions
high
of a
4-star.
whizzing by his fucking ear hole in Ann Arbor, so not super pumped about that.
Yeah, I mean, if Caleb Downs doesn't come
he's a
over,
true freshman.
Malik
He's a
Hartford
true
starting.
freshman too.
Well, he was
Yeah.
in the game.
So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the two deep, Joe. That's it. Jermaine Matthews, like we said, is kind of the pivot man that he's, if a slot corner, he's number 2 there. He's number 2 at one of the wide side guys.
Yeah.
And then
He's
and then I think
growing his versatility. He's useful, at any coverage position, really.
yeah, and God forbid, like I said, we lose both our starting outside corners. Then I think it's Hancock and Matthews will both move out, and I
Right.
think they'll feel more comfortable bringing using their depth at the nickel there.
All right.
But yeah, I mean,
Sounds good.
it's pretty much
I think
it's pretty cut and dry. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, on defense, it's much easier than
back.
offense.
I mean,
the offense is going to be a much more fluid situation, she might say.
That O-line, the O-line, how that's going to shape out, we don't know. I mean,
everything. We've got to replace 2 receivers. Tight end is up in the air, and we've got. So, anyways, let's not get into it now. Great show, everybody. We appreciate everybody popping in. Thank you for all your messages in the chat. I will go back and read them. I promise. I just I can't go like all night tonight. So, Jeff, Shawn, appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, shit on
Thanks,
me every
guys.
time. It's great. See you, Joe.
All right. We'll shit on you next week, Jeff. All right. Talk to you guys later.
Peace.
See you next week, bro.